Hello, this is Mr. Raman, and in this video, we'll be covering Checkpoint 2, the close read for the Unsolved Mystery Project. All your work should be completed in the resource titled Close Read Letters. When you have completed this assignment, please copy the whole document and paste it here where it says Close Read. You must submit the close read to receive feedback and to get your grade. This video will be covering the text 1 as well as the first read questions. Close read text 1, Letters from Birmingham Jail by Dr. Martin Luther King. The first image you see on the left is of the location of the city of Birmingham, which is located in the state of Alabama. On the right, you see an image of Dr. Martin Luther King, a very famous civil rights activist who was also a priest. The images are of him while he was arrested in Birmingham jail for protesting, and this letter was written while he was in jail that kind of discusses all the ideas of the civil rights movement. Specifically, it's going to focus on one issue. All right, paragraph 1. Moreover, I am aware of how all communities are connected to one another, and I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta watching what is happening in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, because we are tied together in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow view of the outsider, since anyone who lives inside the United States can never be seen as an outsider. Paragraph 2. You hate the demonstrations that are presently taking place in Birmingham, but I am sorry that your statement did not express a similar concern for the conditions that brought the demonstrations here. I am sure that each of you would want to go beyond the effects and find the underlying causes. I would agree it is unfortunate that these demonstrations are taking place in Birmingham at this time, but I would say more clearly that it is even more unfortunate that the white people in control of this city left the Negro community with no other alternative. The first image you see is of a policeman using a dog to attack a Black citizen in Birmingham. So this is the type of injustice that Dr. King is discussing in his letter. Notice the people in the background as they look in shock. The second image you see is a group of Black students along with their parents being harassed by police officers to get to a certain location. As you can see, the police did not discriminate based on age. Regardless of how old you are, if you were Black, it was very difficult to be treated with respect from the police in Birmingham. The final image is of Dr. King marching with other protesters in the city of Birmingham. Prior to becoming famous for his I Have a Dream speech, Birmingham was one of the first places where Dr. King gained recognition for the civil rights movement and for the rights for African Americans. The first question asks, according to Dr. King in paragraph 2, what is the cause for the demonstrations? The answer is simply that the white people in control of the government did not give African Americans a choice. This is clearly outlined in the final line when Dr. King says, white people in control of this city left the Negro community with no other alternative. Another word for alternative is choice. Paragraph 3. In any nonviolent action, there are 4 basic steps: collection of facts to find injustices, negotiation, self-purification, and direct action. Birmingham is probably the most thoroughly segregated city in the United States, and its ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of this country. Its unjust treatment of Negroes in the courts is a shameful reality. There have been more unsolved bombings of Negro homes and churches in Birmingham than in any other city in this nation. These are the hard, brutal, and unbelievable facts. Negro leaders tried to negotiate with the city fathers, but the political leaders refused. Paragraph 4. Frankly, I have never been part of a direct action movement that was well timed for the disease of segregation. For years now, I have heard the word wait. This wait has always meant never. We have waited for more than 340 years for our God-given and constitutional rights. The nations of Asia and Africa are moving with jet-like speed to freedom, and we still creep toward the gaining of a cup of coffee at a lunch counter. Question 2 asks, according to the text, what are the 4 basic steps of nonviolent action in paragraph 3? First, it's the collection of facts to find injustices. Essentially, what Dr. King is saying is that the Black community needs to get all their facts together to describe and explain exactly the types of injustices that are occurring to them, such as police brutality. Second is negotiation. Dr. King is aware that the Black community must negotiate with the white community. They must have a discussion about their rights. Third, self-purification. Dr. King is aware that if the Black community wants to get their rights, that they need to make sure that their community is under control, that everyone is in solidarity. And finally, direct action. This is where the protests come in. Dr. King says that there can be no change without direct action being taken. Question 3. Why did the demonstrations take place in Birmingham? Dr. King tells us it is the most segregated city in the United States, with lots of police brutality. This can be further clarified if you do research online. During the 1960s, Birmingham was indeed the most racist city in America, or at least one of the most racist. Paragraph 5. I guess it is easy for those who have never felt the stinging darts of segregation to say wait, for they have not seen vicious mobs lynch their mothers and fathers or drown their sisters and brothers. They have not seen hate-filled policemen curse, kick, and even kill Black brothers and sisters and not be punished. Paragraph 6. You do not suddenly find your tongue twisted and your speech stammering as you try to explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she cannot go to the public amusement park that has just been advertised on television. You have not seen her begin to change her little personality by developing a bitterness toward white people. You don't have to try to answer your daughter's question, Daddy, why do white people treat colored people so mean? You don't have to be humiliated day in and day out by nagging signs reading white and colored. When your middle name becomes boy, however old you are, your wife and mother are never given the respected title Mrs., and you are forever fighting a sense of nobodiness. Then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait. Question 4. According to paragraph 5, for whom is it easy to say wait? Why is it easy for them? According to paragraph 5, it's for the people who have not experienced segregation because they have not seen the hate from police. That's why they can say wait. They haven't felt the pain. For question 5, List 3 of the problems that Negroes face as MLK outlines in paragraph 6. 1, he mentions how African Americans cannot go to public parks. There are signs that separate white and black people from entering restaurants, bathrooms, going on buses. He also brings up this lack of respect. Grown black men are called boy by white men. Black women are not called Mrs. This is the type of disrespect that black people experienced in Birmingham and other parts of America. Paragraph 8. I must close now, but before closing, I must mention one other point in your statement that troubled me deeply. You warmly praise the Birmingham police force for keeping order and preventing violence. I don't believe you would have so warmly praised the police force if you had seen its angry, violent dogs biting 6 unarmed, non-violent Negroes. I don't believe you would so quickly commend the policemen if you would observe their ugly and inhuman treatment of Negroes here in the city jail, watching them push and curse old Negro women and young Negro girls, slapping and kicking old Negro men and young boys, or refusing to give us food because we wanted to sing our grace together. I'm sorry that I can't join you in your praise for the police department. This brings us to the end of our reading. If you need to complete the second and third read questions, please watch the other video titled Text 1, Second Read, Third Read Video. Thank you for joining me.